Hey everybody, Heather here. I thought I would make a video on how I've dealt with unwanted advances, which just kind of goes with a job. If you drive at night, especially, I'm not saying it only happens at night, but my experience, if you drive at night during bar closing hours, that's when you're going to run into the unwanted advances. A lot of sketchy stuff starts, after 1 a.m., things get a little weird sometimes. You'll have to deal with advances, unwanted advances from men and women. Just could be anybody. I've had some experience with that, and I have found that just trying to distract them when they're talking to you in that manner, distract them into another subject, bring up, hey, you got any music you like to listen to, or so are you from the area? Just anything, distract the conversation. That's what I've done, and it's worked okay. I did have one experience that it wasn't the guy that really made me nervous. It was the area that I ended up. He was a young guy. He was probably early 20s. He wasn't very old, and he was very intoxicated. He was shit-faced, okay? So I picked him up at a bar, and it wasn't too long into the trip when he started asking me questions, and he's slurring, he's pretty loaded, and he started saying, oh, I really want a woman like you, and would you be interested in going out with me, and just that kind of stuff. And I'm like, oh, no. And I just like, I'm a grandma. I could be your grandma. I'm too old for you. Oh, no, you're not. No, you don't look, blah, blah, blah. And so it was that kind of stuff. Nothing that went over the line that was, raunchy or like, whoa, or touchy, anything like that. No. But he kept on, and that was okay, and I was able to just kind of avoid it here and there, and get him distracted now and again, and get him to change the subject. He did keep going back to it, but I was able to work with him a little bit. But it's where I ended up going is when I started getting a little, because he lived way outside of town, and it was pitch black. I had to use my brights on my car, and had to turn down a dirt road, pitch black. And that's when the back of my mind, I started going, if this dude starts getting a little too into stuff, I mean, he's still a man, he's stronger than me, he's right there, which I prefer them in the front seat, because if he's going to throw up, I could see and, pull over and let him blow out the window. But my radar was like, started, okay, planning stuff out just in case something weird was to happen. Well, I keep pepper spray, and I have it on my left side, in reach. So I'm driving, I thought, okay, so I kept this hand, my left hand, on the pepper spray, because I was thinking, well, this is when I was getting into that really dark area, and all my radar was telling me, okay, pay attention. I kept my hand on it and drove with my right hand, because I figured if shit did go down, he would probably grab this side, he would grab me from my right arm, and I wouldn't be able to reach. So I had this one ready to, if I needed to, I would do it, so that, and although if I did it, we're so close together, I'd end up getting all the spray too, so we'd probably both be screwed, but he'd be worse because he was drunk. But it didn't reach that point. He kept on, and a lot of it I wasn't catching at that point because my radar was on, and I was paying attention to where I was going, and playing out stuff in my mind. What do I do if this happens or that happens? And just being a woman, that's what I'm thinking, because he's still a dude, and he's bigger and stronger, and he wasn't a small dude. So anyway, I get him to the front there, and it's full of trees and gates, and I pull up, and he lingered a little bit and still tried, hey, are you sure? Can we get together? Blah, blah, blah. And, no, I'm sorry. I said, I have to get back. I got to work. There's other people I got to pick up. And thank you. I'm flattered, but I really got to go. And just kind of that kind of tone also. I wasn't aggressive coming at him, defensive. I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to, cause him to become a drunk, belligerent person. Didn't want that. And so that worked. He got out of the car and he was cool and he's like, okay, see, and I'm like, okay, have a good night. And I left. That's how that happened. And my other one that stands out that happened just actually, I think it was last Friday. It's last weekend. I picked up these 3 men. And when I say men, they were probably in their 40s, mid 40s, could even be late 40s. They were at a club. Actually, how I ended up with them was I had dropped these young guys off, and the guys just got out, and they shut my door, and as I was going to put my blinker to, pull out, I saw these guys coming and they're focusing. The main one in front was focusing on my eyes, so there was contact. So I'm like, okay. He had his phone in his hand, so I figured, okay, he wants an Uber ride, and I figured that, I figured, okay, he's going to want to request me since I'm already here. So he opens my door. And the other guys come around, just get in. I'm like, okay, hold on. And he's like, no, I want to get an Uber ride. I don't want to wait around. I'm like, okay, well, he actually first wanted me to take him for cash. And I said, I am so sorry, but I cannot do that. I told him I have to drive you through the app. Or, you're not covered through the insurance. It's not safe, and I just can't do it. So he was cool with that. He's like, okay, so... he requested me. We waited, and I had told him, I go, you're going to have to ping me through the app. That's what I said. Little did I know that was going to be our fun word of the night, driving him to his destination. So he did, and it requested, and I accepted. And we were off. And after a couple of okay, well, hello, and confirming where he's going, and, all 3 of them, he started with how much he wanted to ping me. Not pinging in the app, he wanted to ping me. And he kept saying it, and I was like, what? I go, you're silly, no, stop. Because they were all intoxicated. Again, I do not want an intoxicated, belligerent, aggressive dude in my car. That would be not good. So the way I handle it is just kind of, blow him off, but kindly, laughing, jokingly, not to make it look like I'm accepting his advances, but just, no, I can't, that kind of thing. But he kept on, and he kept on, and I would distract him every so often. And then he asked me, because the radio was on, and he asked me, hey, do you got an auxiliary cord? And I go, I do. And I'm like, yay, he's got him distracted now. He's just going to screw with his phone and play some music. It's going to all be good, and I can just get him where he wants to go, all 3 of them. So I reach out back, and I give him the aux cord, and he gets it in his phone. He's like, I'm going to play some music for you. And I was like, oh, what does this mean? Okay, sounds good. Let's hear some music. This dude put on the slow jams, the R&B, bedroom stuff. I was like, what? And he would say, do you like it? Do you like that one? And I'm like, oh my God. No, that wasn't, I don't know. Do you have anything else? And it was just, it got weird for a little bit. And he's doing this, and the guys are in the back are all drunk. Hey, play this. And one dude wanted some country song, and It was funny. It was like, oh my God. And while he's playing these slow jams, these bedroom music, he's saying how he wants to ping me. And I was like, oh, just let me get these guys to this destination. So, the destination was a really high-end hotel. And I take a lot of people there, drop off a lot of people there. And it's, and I have to mention that the guy sitting next to me in the front, who was doing all this slow jams and wanting to ping and all that, had a wedding ring on because I looked. I'm like, really? So the guys in the back, I don't know. I couldn't see, but probably they're staying at a high-end hotel. My assumption, it's all just guessing, all just speculation. Okay, it's all speculation. But I look at them as, and so just, their attire and how they were and stuff, that they were businessmen on a trip. And they were having a good time. And probably all married. But anyway, so we're about a mile out from the hotel. And actually, the guy in the back started saying, hey, when we get there, come in and, have some drinks with us. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't do that. And then that got this guy, Mr. R&B ping guy, started. Oh, you got to come in and have some drinks with us. I'm like, I can't. I'm sorry. I'm your Uber driver. I'm getting you here safely. If I go in and have some drinks, I'll have to take an Uber home. I don't drink and drive. No, come on, just one. And they kept bugging, and I was like, no, I can't. I just can't do that. And it's obvious. It's obvious to me, okay, these guys were hoping for some fun, that's what I could take. It's like, no. I don't roll that way. Can't do that. And they never got belligerent, aggressive. They were just very persistent. They really, really wanted me to go have a drink. No can do. Didn't do. But I ended up with, let's see, 45, 50, I think $54. $54 in tips between them. It was really good. I'm sure that didn't hurt their wallets at all. They seemed to be pretty well to do. But it was an awesome tip, and I got them there safe. Dealt with some crowd, but I can laugh about it now. I'm just glad that it didn't go further than that, They didn't do anything else they were being rude just for the fact they're, he was kind of over the line there, but he didn't do anything, he didn't touch me or do anything that made it, any weirder than that. But anyway, so my tip to you is if you can drive at night, make sure you can handle things like that, because you will deal with it from men and women. And men drivers, you too, you have to deal with advances from men and women. And from the stories I've read, there's been some scary stories there with some of the men drivers that there's been passenger women that have actually accused them of doing things while they've been really intoxicated in the car. So you just got to be really careful when people are intoxicated, because they do things that, once they reach that point so drunk, they do things that they normally wouldn't do. So you got to be careful. Not all of this is a joke, Mine turned out to be a little funny, and it just didn't cross that line, but it could be dangerous. Just be safe. And don't accept the advances. I wouldn't suggest, it's up to everybody. It's their own choice, but I don't think it's a good idea to accept advances. I don't know. Might open you up to some other stuff. Maybe outside of work. I don't know. That's up to you guys, but I would be careful there. But anyway, I have to say, the best thing to do if you deal with that, is just try to distract them. And don't engage in the conversation to build up the advances. Just try to distract and get the conversation going a different direction. And ladies, if you don't think you can handle stuff like that, then you don't want to drive. You don't want to drive those wee hours when the bars are closing, because when you work those hours, there's a lot more shadiness, a lot more sketchiness. It's a whole different group of people. You're not going to normally pick up people that intoxicated in the afternoon. You're going to pick them up after that, 1 o'clock, 12, 1, 2. And it gets worse and worse and worse as the night goes on. So if you don't think you can handle that, don't even attempt it, because it's going to happen. It's part of it. That's part of how it is out there driving in those hours. But anyway, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Just wanted to talk about that, and how I've handled it, and it's been okay, and just so far so good. I haven't had to deal with any advances that were like way over the line. Thank God so far. I hope it doesn't happen, knock on wood. Okay. Anyway, until my next video, stay safe, and I will talk to you soon. And don't forget to subscribe. I have so much to say. I want to tell you all my stories while Ubering. And hey, if you're interested and you want to give it a try, use my code up there when you sign up. And if you do, you can receive a bonus. Well, you will receive a bonus, and I'll receive a bonus too for you using my code. So you can input that code, or in the description I'll put a link. You can use the link. That'll take you right to it. And also, if you've never ridden with Uber, if you use my code, that same code, if you put it in, you'll get a free first ride. But also for those people that have accounts already, if you've never used a promo code, you use my code in the promo code area, and you'll get a $20 credit. And it works because I've used it. Not mine. My friend who signed up to drive, I used her code, and I got a $20 credit. And I've ridden with Uber. I'm an Uber rider too, because I don't drink and drive. Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe. Stay safe out there.